The Kitchen is a film adaptation of the graphic novel from the DC Vertigo of the same name, and this movie was directed by Andrea Berloff, and this movie has a good casting. The movie stars Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany Haddish and Elizabeth Moss. And this film takes place in the late 1970s. When three housewives' husbands are sent to prison for 4 years, they decide to take over the organization in Hell's Kitchen. And their main reason to do so because the bills is getting high and they gotta find a way to pay bills. And we have the movie The Kitchen. This movie does have some bad reviews, so I feel like this movie could be polarizing. Me personally, I enjoyed this movie, and I really enjoyed the performances from Tiffany Haddish and Melissa McCarthy. Now, for most of their careers, Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany Haddish are really known for playing comedic characters. And Tiffany Haddish is really known for playing those over-the-top characters that's really obnoxious and yelling out real loud like, oh, my booty itching, oh yeah. For this movie in particular, this was the first time of me actually seeing Tiffany Haddish play a serious role. Melissa McCarthy, Elizabeth Moss, and Tiffany Haddish, they really dug deep in their performances. Their characters was very serious. There was no fun and games. Tiffany Haddish definitely blew the part in my eyes. I felt like she really did a good job of showing a true emotion and showing like the darkness of her character. And Melissa McCarthy, she's really known for playing the type of characters that's clumsy, that's over the top. Melissa McCarthy did a fantastic job with her performance. And Melissa McCarthy she can really play the serious role. There was a movie I saw last year, it was called Can You Ever Forgive Me, where I felt like she deserved an Oscar for her performance because she was unrecognizable in that role. And she did a really good job of playing a serious role in this movie. Pretty much the main cast, Tiffany Haddish, Melissa McCarthy, Elizabeth Moss, they all did a fantastic job with their performances. Another positive I gotta give this movie was the humor. The humor did work for this movie, and there wasn't a type of humor where you got characters like dropping out jokes that doesn't really go with the tone of the movie. Tiffany Haddish and Melissa McCarthy did have some like one-liners and did have some jokes. The humor felt real, didn't really feel out of place, and it felt like the type of humor that real people would have in a real life setting. The atmosphere of this movie is dark and gritty, and the characters themselves do some messed up, horrific things in this movie. But since this being a crime drama, there is not much creativity, and it's pretty much a cliche. And this film pretty much has all your traditional tropes from a crime drama. Characters are manipulating one another, and characters are turning against one another. It pretty much have all your traditional tropes from the crime dramas. And some of the twists and turns you can see coming from a mile away. And that leads into the flaws in this movie. Like, this movie has some terrific performances. I just didn't like some of the creative writing when it comes to some of the execution of the scenes. Like I said before, this movie is a cliche, and that's the main problem with it. And this movie has all your traditional tropes from your crime drama, but it's giving you But what it's doing is putting you in a perspective of the women. It was cool on some of the scenes. I did enjoy some of the scenes, but there was a problem with the writing when it came to the women empowerment scenes. There are a few women empowerment scenes in this movie. They try to put these women on on a pedestal, and that's where I felt the writing was a little bit misplaced. Because you have these women on these pedestals and you're having these women empowerment scenes, but what they're doing horrific things in this movie, like terrible, horrific things to other people. If these were actual men that's doing the same thing, we will see the men as bad people, but not the women. And I just had a hard time trying to agree with the director's point. And there was a weird setup like during the third act where there was this major reveal and there was no setup at all, and I couldn't really gravitate towards it. I just felt like it was a little bit abrupt and a little bit forced. This movie's alright. If you take out the women in this movie, you pretty much have a same old generic, crime drama that you have seen in other movies. And the only thing good that got going for it was the performances from the three main stars. Outside of them, it's just the writing, and this whole entire movie is just a cliche on certain aspects of the film. But overall, this movie is good, has some terrific performances. It's just some of the writing and the women empowerment scenes, it just makes the movie a little bit flat. But I left the theater entertained. So I'm going to give The Kitchen a Michael Keaton Batman. This is a really good movie. I will buy it on Blu-ray. Alright guys, that's my review for The Kitchen. Have you seen The Kitchen? Also, have you read the comic book The Kitchen from DC Vertigo? And if you have, comment below and tell me what you think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in a way. You have been warned. Till then,